Hi, I'm Dan with Cali Raised, and today we're going to show you how to install the stealth bumper for the 6th gen Toyota 4Runner.
The hardware for the stealth bumper includes 10 M12 bolts, 20 half-inch washers, 10 M12 lock nuts, 8 3/8 button head bolts, 16 3/8 washers, and 8 3/8 lock nuts, 2 5/16 button head bolts, 4 5/16 washers, and 2 5/16 lock nuts, as well as 2 1/4-inch button head bolts, 4 1/4-inch washers, and 2 1/4-inch lock nuts. For the winch tray hardware, you're going to need 8 half-inch carriage bolts, 24 half-inch washers, 8 half-inch lock nuts, 8 M12 bolts, and 8 M12 lock nuts. For tools, you're going to need an assortment of socket extensions, a ratcheting wrench, a 3/4-inch box end wrench and socket, a 9/16 box end wrench and socket, a 1/2-inch box end wrench and socket, a 7/16 box end wrench and socket, a 19mm box end wrench and socket, a 17mm box end wrench and socket, and a 10mm socket, a 7/32 Allen wrench, a 3/16 Allen wrench, and a 5/32 Allen wrench, along with a small pry tool, a Phillips head screwdriver, and a large pry tool.
So the first step to installing the bumper is to remove the front plastic part here. We have a video on how to do that. Go ahead and watch that. We're going to skip ahead to where this is already pulled off, and then I'll show you the next steps from there. So once you have the front bumper off, you're gonna go ahead and remove this plastic cowling on the bumper itself. There's some tabs on screws on the back. I'm gonna show you which ones to undo. So we're gonna move this this screw, this corner screw, and then all of the ones on the bottom. We're gonna remove this push tab on the left side and this push tab on the driver's side. So now that we removed all the screws, we're going to go ahead and remove the plastic grommets. You've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to go ahead and remove those, and they're going to move over to removing the plastic cowling. So once you have all of those screws removed, we're going to go ahead and loosen these silver screws that are connecting the back of this housing to the front, because we've got to loosen that front piece where the sensors are on. And then when you're pushing the tabs in, I like using a screwdriver, reaching in and pushing that tab down and pushing up. And we're going to be removing all of the tabs along the top here, so that way we have enough room to pull this bottom cowling out and not damage that front plastic piece. So we've got this plastic piece out. You may have to finagle the plastic part on top of it, just because they do interlock with each other. So you may have to undo some more screws, undo some more tabs. Some might have more play than others. So you're just gonna have to play around and make sure you can get these from interlocking. So you're gonna have to pull this piece back far enough out that you can then lift it all out. Then you're good to go. So now that we've removed that bottom plastic part, we're gonna go ahead and reattach the top plastic cowling. We're gonna go ahead and push all the tabs in and then screw it down, and then we're gonna take this bumper and throw it back on the vehicle. The screw here, the screw in the center, and the screw on the very end that we've got to replace. So now that the bumper is all put together, we're gonna go ahead and put it back on the truck. Before you put it back on the truck, make sure that you remove the crash bar. So we're gonna be removing 8 M12 bolts that all use a 17mm socket. You've got 2 on top and then 2 on bottom on both driver and passenger. Now the crash bar has been removed from the vehicle. We're going to go ahead and replace the plastic bumper back onto the vehicle, and we're going to go ahead and make our cuts. So the front part of the bumper is fully installed. I'm gonna wait to put on the intake and the radiator plastic cowling until after the end so that I can be sure to wire my light bar correctly. So to cut our bumper, we're gonna need to trim this section, the center section, and then the opposite side here. And then on the sides, we're gonna trim from here to here, and then here to here. You can use whatever cutting tool you have. You can use a knife, you can use a cutoff wheel, offsetting saw, whatever you have. But as long as you cut these up, you can throw your bumper up. If you notice any places are touching, go ahead and trim that back. Depending on your model, you may have some variation there. But again, you're gonna wanna have this bumper set up in between this plastic cowling in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get cutting and we'll go from there. Once we trimmed off this middle section, we're gonna go ahead and trim this part of the bumper from here to about this corner where the seam is. And we're gonna cut all the way down to the bottom. Now that you have this cut off, depending on what tool you use, you might want to use this piece of sandpaper or Scotch-Brite to buff the edges so it's not so sharp. The pocket knife ended up leaving like a really nice smooth edge on it, so we're not going to do that, and we're going to go ahead and place the bumper and winch tray into place. So if you're going to be installing your winch tray, you're going to do that before you put your bumper on. So to install and pre-assemble your winch tray, you're going to go ahead and place your driver's side bracket and your passenger side bracket like so. And we're going to place our carriage bolts on the inside going out. They go together like that. So we're going to go ahead and loosely put it together and then throw it into place. You're gonna go ahead and tighten this down to about 90%, so you still have some play in the bracket. So when we mount it up to the vehicle, we have some room to wiggle around with. So now that we have the winch tray put together, we're gonna go ahead and place it up to the vehicle. I'm gonna use a combination of both the factory bolts that were on the vehicle as well as some of the M12s that we will supply in the kit. So the brackets that I'm using are prototypes, so these may look a little different from what you actually get. That's okay. Whatever holes are available for you, go ahead and put the required hardware for, and it'll be secured just fine. Now that this is put into place with the bolts by hand, I'm going to go back through and tighten all of the 1/2-inch carriage bolts that are attaching the two plates together. And then I'm going to go around and tighten the winch tray to the frame. We're going to prepare our bumper for install, so we're going to be installing a light bar. We're not installing a bull bar, but we will plug those holes in the hardware with it. If you do have a bull bar, now is the time to install it. We're also going to be installing a winch plate cover because we are not installing a winch on this truck today. We're going to have this cover that hole, so that way there's no air or anything else. There are rocks that chips that go up inside there. We're going to finish attaching the brackets with a 3/16 Allen key and a 1/2-inch wrench. Using the included hardware, we're going to go ahead and plug all of the bull bar holes. Now that I have all the attachments secured onto the bumper, I'm going to go ahead and place it up into place. Again, we're going to be using a combination of both factory and supplied hardware. I'm going to lift it up, set it into place, and I'm going to start by inserting it into this far left and then the opposite on the far right plate. And then you can either do this yourself, it's quite challenging, or you could do this with a friend and make your life a whole lot easier. So when you're installing your bumper onto the frame of the truck, you're going to place your bolt washer, then you place this through the bracket on top, and then you're going to be putting the nut on. And you're going to do this for all 5 holes. There are 5 holes on the passenger side, 5 holes on the driver. The hole is going to start above where the factory bumper was mounted, so there's a threaded hole below here. These 3 holes are above that position. Again, you're going to put these in loosely, so that way when you so it doesn't bind up on itself. When you are ready to tighten it up, tighten up the top 4 bolts first, and then you're going to tighten down the brackets on the bolts on the back. And that's how you install the stealth bumper for the 6th-gen Toyota 4Runner. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Cali Raised LED's YouTube channel, as well as visiting caliraisedled.com to get other awesome products just like these.